How clever do you think you are? Do you think that having a high IQ, having a logical thinking mind, having a creative mind, do you think those things stop you becoming an addict or an alcoholic? Do you think that if you did well at school, if you've been highly educated, if you've been successful in your career, that shows that you're made of better stuff? Surely someone like that can't fall foul to drink, something everyone does, something everyone just takes in their stride. Surely someone like me who's successful, who's been successful, who's destined to be successful in whatever they do, can't be tripped up by a little thing like alcohol. Well, unfortunately, no. None of that matters. Because anyone can become an alcoholic. Because the way I see it is actually, however intelligent you think you are, all that intelligence can be used against you by your denial. If you have a logical, creative mind, you come up with logical, creative solutions as to why you're justified in your drinking. And I'm fine. That only happened because of this, this, and this. And if you think about it, that means that blah, 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 blah. So I'm fine. And then that logical, creative mind goes, well, if this is what happened, then all I've got to do is this and this and this, and I'll be fine. But you won't be. Because alcohol starts off small and it grows with you. As the problem grows, the denial grows. As the justification for those little issues develops, bigger issues have bigger justifications. So the cleverer you are, the more you can think of ways to get around it. And what you need is a bombshell. A bombshell to convince you that you were wrong. And that's hard. Because if you think you're clever, then the idea of being wrong is not easy. And the idea that you might have been so wrong for so long is even worse. And the idea that you let that little thing get so big that it's destroying everything in your life, and you spent so much time thinking of solutions and ways around and justifications, if all that was wrong, then oh my God, what have I been doing? It's a bitter pill to swallow. I remember my bombshell. I've been drinking all weekend, heavier than usual, pulled a sickie on Monday, thought I'd go in Tuesday, didn't, dragged out, repeated. Went on for 9 days. 9 days of telling myself I was going to stop, I was going to level out, I was going to get myself back into a decent physical state, enough that I could go back into work and keep going. But after 9 days, 9 days of pretty heavy drinking, I was in a bad state. I was in such a bad state that when I told myself that I needed to get help, I didn't even have the capacity to Google it. I was in such a horrible mental spiral by the end of 9 days. I had to phone up a friend to ask where the treatment centre was. I had to ask multiple people on the streets where on earth it was. I was in such a bad state. But I made it there and asked for help. And then the problem is, all my intelligence that had spent all those years building all this kind of tower of bricks, so much denial, so much justification, so much mental ducking and diving, that it wasn't a simple question of asking for help. It was starting a process of breaking all that down. Of going, okay, well, that last thing, yes, it got out of hand. 9 days of drinking was too much. I accept that was bad. That's just the tip of the iceberg, the first layer of the onion. And then you go, but hang on, is everything I've been telling myself for the last 20 years, is that all wrong? Yes. But you're not ready to accept it, and I didn't. And as you know, if you've seen my story, it took me 3 years to get there. It took me 3 years to finally accept that everything I've been doing before then was all based off a lie. The lie that alcohol made me feel better. I mean, it did make me feel better in the moment, but it didn't make me feel better about myself. So when it made me forget my worries for a moment, it made me think everything was all right, it wasn't. So from the first time you have alcohol, and the first time you think that's made things better, that's the first brick in the bottom of the pile that everything else is built up on. That first justification that says that was good. That was good to use alcohol to make you feel better. The tower is being built. For nearly 20 years it was being built. Horrible. So yeah, if you think your intelligence can get you out of being an alcoholic, you're wrong. It's going to get you stuck. It's going to get you stuck in a web of lies and justification and denial that your clever mind has built for all that time, and it needs to be broken down. It's not easy to accept that. It's not easy to accept you're wrong, especially if you think you're clever, especially if you think you can't be wrong because you're clever. But that's the starting point. Something pretty big's got to happen to make you change your ways. I hope whatever makes you change your ways or decide to try and change your ways isn't so big that it doesn't take everything away from you, because it doesn't have to. Anyway, that was today's rant. Hope you got something. If you got something from it, share it, like it, whatever. Clicky stuff. But for now,